There's a hunger in the desert that don't speak in words, just a scrape of empty pockets and the silence of the birds. I buried too many hopes in this God-forsaken land, and every villain I've met looked a whole lot like a man. Faith ain't a church bell, it's a whisper in the bone. I promise you'll keep walking with even when you walk alone. Poverty's a shadow that grows longer with the night, and truth is just a lantern with a weak and flickering light. These roads don't forgive, they don't care who you are. They'll grind you down to nothing under a skylight star. But I keep moving forward, though the world feels cruel. 'Cause a man with no hope is a man with no tools. And I ain't ready yet to be swallowed by the dust. Saw a preacher on the roadside with a Bible full of tears. Said he lost his faith in heaven but found mercy in his fears. Told me, son, the hardest truth ain't the one that breaks your back, it's the truth that keeps you living when your whole world's turned to black. Some folks chase salvation, some chase a grave of gold, some chase the lies they're handed from the moment they are told. But me, I chase the sunrise even when it burns my eyes. 'Cause the dark don't scare me half as much as living in disguise. These roads don't forgive, they don't care who you are. They'll grind you down to nothing under a sky without stars. But I keep moving forward, though the world feels cruel. 'Cause a man with no truth is a man with no tools. And I ain't ready yet to be swallowed by the dust. No, I ain't ready yet to be swallowed by the dust. When the sun bleeds out across a canyon rim, the world goes quiet, but the dark grows limbs. I feel them crawling up the spine of the land, like the ghosts of every choice I never could withstand. Some wolves wear faces I used to trust. Some rise up from the ashes of the man I was. They circle slow, like they know my name. Like they've memorized the cracks in the bones I became at sundown. The wolves don't howl, they breathe. In the hollow of my chest, where the truth still bleeds. Laying in the shadows that carved in my mind. The parts of me I buried but never left behind. And every night I fight them with a trembling hand, trying to prove I'm still more man than the dark understands. Preacher says the wolves are just the sins we feed, the hunger we deny till it learns to lead. But I've seen their eyes in the mirror stare, and I know some beasts are born from despair. Some men run from the dark inside, some drown it out with the bottles tied. But me, I stand still when the night grows near, 'cause a man learns his truth when he listens to fear. At sundown, the wolves don't howl, they breathe. In the hollow of my chest, where the truth still bleeds. They ain't in the shadows, they're stitched in my scars. The reminders of the nights when I fell too far. But I keep holding on, though the dark runs deep. 'Cause a man who won't face his wolves can never sleep. I gave a thirsty stranger half the water in my can. His hand shook like a sinner who'd forgotten he was a man. But when I turned away, he stole the rest and ran. And the desert whispered softly, mercy always takes its due. Even good men pay in blood. I've carried dying drifters farther than I carry myself, and held their final words like ghosts I keep upon a shelf. And every time I offered mercy, something in me told, like a door I shouldn't open, but keep opening once more. Mercy ain't free in a land carved by need. Every kindness you give is another wound that bleeds, and the world keeps taking till you're hollow as a bone, till the good in your chest feels stripped to the stone. But I still keep giving, though it cuts me deep, 'cause a man without mercy ain't a man I can keep. I found a mother kneeling where the canyon shadows fall, her child cold beside her, like he never lived at all. She asked me for a prayer, but my faith fell thin. Still I knelt beside her, though the dark was settling in. Some say mercy's holy, some say it's a chain, some say it's the only thing that keeps us from the grave. But I've learned every blessing has a shadow behind, and mercy's just a bargain with the darker parts of mine. Mercy ain't free in a land carved by need. Every kindness you give is another wound that bleeds, and the world keeps taking till your heart runs dry, till you're left with a truth you can't deny. But I still keep giving, though it breaks my sleep, 'cause a man without mercy ain't a man I can keep.
I found him by the canyon where the dust remembers names. His Bible torn to ribbons like a flag of old remains. He said the desert stole his sermons, left him naked to the bone, and every prayer he whispered came back colder than a stone. His eyes were dying embers in a lantern long unlit, where faith once burned like wildfire, now only ashes
sit. He told me, son, I used to preach that truth could save a soul, but truth is just a blade that cuts the preacher as it goes. These preachers' bones ain't holy, they're cracked from holding light, from trying to carry mercy through a world that don't treat it right. And the desert keeps reminding him of every vow he broke, every sinner he forgave who left him bleeding in the smoke. Now he wanders through the wasteland where the lost ones make their home, begging God to find a use for the preacher's bones. He said he lost his faith in heaven when a child died in his hands. Said no scripture ever warned him how the innocent get damned. So he laid his cross down gently where the canyon winds atone, and walked away from heaven like a man already gone. Some men lose their faith to hunger, some lose it to the night, some lose it when the darkness starts to look too much like light. But he lost his in the moment when he saw himself alone, just a man without a witness, just a voice without a home. These preachers' bones ain't holy, they're cracked from holding light, from trying to carry mercy through a world that don't treat right. And the desert keeps reminding him of every soul he failed, every promise he delivered that the good Lord never made. Now he wanders through the silence where the broken truth still roam, praying someday God remembers the preacher's bone. I've been living off the echoes that the canyon winds don't steal, counting ghosts instead of blessings, just to prove that I still feel. Every sunrise feels like judgment from a God I can't afford. My pockets hang like empty songs, never reach the Lord. I share my fire with a stranger who looked carved from preacher's pain. Said he once believed in mercy till it bled him out again. And every time I gave a little, life took more than I could spare, till the weight of all my losses made a chapel of despair. Hollow pockets, heavy heart, that's the scripture that I bear, carrying every mercy like a cross I didn't wear. In the world keeps taking pieces till I'm barely standing straight, till the truth inside my chest feels like a rusted, broken gate. But I keep walking through the wasteland, though it tears my hope apart, with these hollow pockets dragging in this heavy, heavy heart. I've seen hunger carve a sermon in the ribs of desperate men, seen the preachers fall reflected in the dust I breathe again. And I ain't any different, just a soul the world forgot, trying to hold on to the scraps of who I am and who I'm not. Some men drown in scripture, some in debts they can't repay, some in all the kindness that the world just throws away. Me, I drown in silence where the preacher's shadow stars, hearing every empty echo in the chambers of my heart. Hollow pockets, heavy heart, that's a scripture that I bear, carrying every mercy like a cross I didn't wear. And the world keeps taking pieces till I'm barely standing straight, till the truth inside my chest feels like a rusted, broken gate. But I keep moving through the darkness, though it tears my hope apart, with these hollow pockets dragging in this heavy, heavy heart. There's a bend along the canyon where the dust forgets to fall, where the wind sounds like a scripture that was never meant for all. I walked that road at sundown, when the sky turned bruised and cold, and felt the ghost behind me whispering truths I never told. Somewhere faces I abandoned, somewhere faces I betrayed, some are just the shadows of the choices that I made. And every step I take, the ground hums low like something old, like the earth itself is tallying the debts I never showed. On the canyon road, the ghosts don't moan, they breathe in the cracks where all my mercy split and left its quiet grief. They ain't reaching out to haunt me, they're the sins I never spoke, every vow I let go silent, every promise that I broke. And I keep walking through their murmurs, years, though they chill me to the bone. 'Cause a man can't outrun the ghost of the canyon road. I saw the preacher's shadow linger where the cliffside meets the sky. Not a man, but what was left when all his faith had run dry. His fall was carved in dust, like a warning etched in stone. A prophecy the desert wrote for me, and me alone. Some ghosts rise from the graves we dig, some from the hearts we leave, some from mercy we abandon when we couldn't bear to grieve. But the worst ones walk beside us, quiet as a prayer undone, and they follow till the darkness swallows every trace of sun. On a canyon road, the ghosts don't moan, they breathe in the cracks where all my mercy split and left its quiet grief. They ain't reaching out to haunt me, they're the sins I never spoke. Every vow I let go silent, every promise that I broke. And I keep moving through their shadows, though the night has claimed its hold. 'Cause a man can't leave behind the ghost of the canyon road. I've been walking with a sorrow that the desert carved in me, like a mark the canyon branded long before I came to be. Every kindness that I offered turned to rust before it bloomed. Now I'm left with nothing but the stain of salt inside the wound. I've tried burying all my failures where the canyon shadows sleep, but the earth keeps spitting back the things I swore I'd never keep. And every time I think I'm healed, the past comes breaking through, like the preacher's voice behind me saying, pain's the only truth, salt in the wound. That's the law, this desert road. Every step I take just grinds it deeper in my throat, and the world keeps pouring handfuls like it's trying to make me see that the hurt I keep on carrying is the last of what is me. So I walk beneath the sun that burns like judgment from above, this salt inside the wound where I once believed in love. I saw the preacher's shadow rise where the dust begins to shake, not a ghost but something older, like the desert learned its his shape. He said mercy's just a bargain and the cost comes far too soon. Then he vanished in the shimmer, leaving salt inside the wound. Some men heal by leaving, some by learning how to pray, some by giving up the debts they never meant to pay. But me, I keep on digging where the pain runs dark and deep, 'cause the wound's the only place where all my buried truth still speaks. Salt in the wound, that's the law this desert road. Every step I take just grinds it deeper in my throat. And the world keeps pouring handfuls like it's trying to make me see that the hurt I keep on carrying is the last of what is me. So I walk beneath the sun that burns like judgment from above, with this salt inside the wound where I once believed in love. I came upon a homestead where the wind refused to sing, where the door hung like a warning and the well lost its ring. On the gatepost someone smeared a line of ashes black and thin, not to keep the darkness out, but to keep a curse within. The window stared like hollow eyes that once had seen the mark, the kind that clings to bloodlines and survives the deepest dark. And carved into the lintel was a prayer that time had chewed, but the dust around it whispered like it knew what I'd been through. Ashes on the gatepost, a curse the desert cast, a mark that binds the living to the sins of ages past. And the wind kept saying softly, every dead must come around, as I stood there in the doorway, feeling something drag me down. 'Cause the ashes weren't protection, they were proof of what was doomed, a reminder that the darkness always finds another wound. I saw the preacher's shadow flicker in the corner of my sight, not a ghost, but something older, carved from dust and dying light. He said, son, this curse don't follow blood, it follows broken truth. Then he vanished like a sermon that the world had long outgrew. Some marks guard the living, some are warnings for the dead, some are left by hands that trembled with the things they never said. But the ashes on that gatepost felt like something carved in bone, like a prophecy the canyon meant for me and me alone. Ashes on the gatepost, a curse the desert cast, kept saying softly, every debt must come around. As I walked back through the wasteland, feeling something drag me down. 'Cause the ashes weren't protection, they were proof of what was doomed. And a whisper from the darkness saying you'll be carrying it soon. I've been carrying something heavy that the desert can't explain, like a river born of sorrow, swollen thick with borrowed pain. Every step I take, it sloshes like a truth I can't deny, like the preacher's fall turning liquid, and it's living in my spine. I knelt beside dry riverbeds that once held all my youth, watched the water flee the canyon like it couldn't bear the truth. And the preacher's voice still lingers where the shadows twist apart, saying, son, the weight of water is the burden of a heart. The weight of water, it don't wash a sinner clean. It just drags you through the memories of the places you have been. And the world keeps pouring into me like a storm that won't let go, till I'm drowning in the stories only water seems to know. So I walk beneath the sun that cracks the earth like brittle stone, with the weight of water pulling at the marrow of my bones. I saw a flood behind my eyelids when I tried to sleep last night. All the faces I abandoned, drifting pale in silver light. And the preacher stood among them with a truth I couldn't bear, saying water keeps what dust forgets, and boy, it's all still there. Some men fear the fire, some the darkness, some the cold, but I fear the things I carry that the water never told. 'Cause the river in my chest keeps rising higher every day, and it mirrors how the preacher drowned in truth he couldn't say. The weight of water, it don't wash a sinner clean. It just drags you through the memories of the places you have been. And the world keeps pouring into me like a storm that won't let go, till I'm drowning in the stories only water seems to know. So I'll walk beneath the sun that cracks the earth like brittle stone, with the weight of water pulling at the marrow of my bones. I've been walking through a a darkness that the desert seems to own, where the sky forgets its colors and the wind forgets its tone, and the only thing that follows me is a glow so faint and thin from the last lantern still burning where my hope used to begin. Its flame is barely holding, like a truth that's lost its name, like the preacher's final sermon when he couldn't find the flame. And the shadows stretch around me like they're waiting for their turn to swallow up the last of what this lantern's left to burn. The last lantern burning, it's a fragile dying spark, a reminder that the light don't always win against the dark. And the world keeps leaning inward like it's hungry for the glow, like it knows this little fire is the last thing that I know. So I guard it with my heartbeat, though the night is cold and stern, walking through the wasteland with the last lantern burning. Saw the preacher's shadow flicker in the lantern's trembling light. Not a man, but what was left when he surrendered to the night. He said, son, the flame you're holding ain't salvation, it's a death. Then he vanished in the darkness like a truth I can't forget. Some flames die from hunger, some from winds that twist and tear, some from hands that shake too heavy with the weight they have to bear. But this lantern keeps on glowing though the world around me fades, like it knows it's all that's left of every choice I ever made. The last lantern burning, it's a fragile dying spark, a reminder that the light don't always win against the dark. And the world keeps leaning inward like it's hungry for the glow, like it knows this little fire is the last thing that I know. So I walk into the silence where the night in truth returns, carrying the story of the last lantern burning. I came upon a valley where the wind refused to lie, where the ground was carved with footprints that no storm could ever hide. And the dust rose up around me like it recognized my name, like it knew the curse I carried and the man I couldn't tame. Every ghost I'd ever outrun stirred beneath my weary stride. Every truth I tried to bury clawed its way back to my side. The preacher's voice came whispering from the canyon's hollow bend, saying, son, the dust is prophecy, it judges in the end. Where the dust never forgets. There's no mercy, no disguise, just the curses you've inherited and the sins you tried to hide. And the world keeps turning slowly like it's grinding down your name, till the man you were is scattered in the ashes of your shame. So I knelt upon that valley where the truth burns like an ember, and the dust rose up around me, saying we always will remember. I saw the preacher's shadow linger in the settling of the sand. Not a warning, not a blessing, just the sentence of a man who had carried all his burdens till they carved him into stone. And the dust around him whispered, every sinner dies alone. Some men leave a legacy, some leave nothing but a scar. Some leave prayers that never answered, scattered wide and carried far. But the dust don't care for glory, it just keeps what time forgets. Every vow, every betrayal, every mercy, every debt. Where the dust never forgets, there's no mercy, no disguise, just the curses you've inherited and the sins you tried to hide. And the world keeps turning slowly like it's grinding down your name, till the man you were is scattered in the ashes of your shame. So I laid my burdens down there where the truth burns like an ember, and the dust rose up around me, saying we always will remember. I was falling heavy when I reached the canyon's rim, where the stars hung like a verdict and the world grew faint and dim. And the dust beneath my footsteps rose like something long foretold, like the curse had come to claim me in the way the preacher told. I felt the weight of water settle quiet in my chest, felt the ashes on the gatepost stir like secrets unconfessed. And the ghosts along the canyon lined the path I had to take, every one a truth I buried, every one a past mistake. I knew there was no running from the stories I became, no outrunning all the shadows that still carried me by name. So I stood there in the silence where the night and truth collide, and I let the desert take me like a river turned to tide. 'Cause a man can't fight forever, what the land already knew. And the dust that never forgets finally whispered what was true. I saw the preacher's shadow waiting where the canyon opened wide. Not in judgment, not in mercy, just a man who'd also tried. He said, son, the curse ain't vengeance, it's the truth you can't undo. Then he faded like a lantern when the flame burns clean and through. Some men die in fire, some in water, some in stone. Some in sins they carry quiet, some in sins they never own. But the desert don't choose victims, it just keeps what time won't keep. Every promise, every failure, every secret buried deep. I knew there was no running from the stories I became, no outrunning all the shadows that still carried me by name. So I stepped into the valley where the dust began to rise, and it wrapped around my heartbeat like a truth that never dies. 'Cause a man can't fight forever, what the land already knew. And the dust that never forgets finally whispered what was true. The wind fell still behind me as the canyon closed its eyes, and the world returned to silence where the last of mercy lies.